My name is Alexander Dale. I'm the director for Solve's Global Challenges. My heart is very much in our climate work. That's where I came to Solve. It's where my background is. I am delighted to welcome you back if you've been here for the morning, to welcome you to the event if this is your first session. Regardless, you are in for a treat. I am so delighted to introduce you to the climate cohort for this year, which focused on one half on low carbon housing. How do we build the housing for the billion people that lack dignified housing? How do we rebuild and decarbonizing the housing that's out there? Knowing that steel and cement are huge sources of emissions, knowing that we need to think about where the materials are going to come from, but also about the design, also about the context. And the other half, thinking about how do we protect the high carbon ecosystems? Nature stores so much carbon. How do we get more of it in there in soils? How do we make sure that it stays there? How do we align the economic incentives for communities? We asked this question back in February. We put it out to the world. We had 195 submitted solutions from 53 countries. We had an amazing leadership group that selected and interviewed 15 finalists to select 8 solver teams who are here today to share their work. They're sitting over here being nervous. They don't need to be nervous, but they are. A few quick stats about the cohort. 50% of them are led or co-led by women. All but one are based outside the United States. They're doing amazing work all over the place. And they have a wide variety of different business models. We really welcome these hybrid, these nonprofit, these for-profit spaces, looking for ways that we can scale all those different types of innovation. It is also, I need to take a moment and recognize the leadership group, which is similarly diverse and cross-sector. We had 21 different people participate, ranging from corporate folks in Singapore, in the US, to foundations, to NGOs, to social entrepreneurs that a few years ago might have applied themselves, all of whom bring a different lens to this. Can I ask any leadership group members who are here just kind of quickly wave to the group for recognition and a round of applause for you? Thank you. With that, I am delighted to share this list of 8 teams, but more to bring the teams up to the stage so that they can introduce their own work to you. Each of the teams, as with previous sessions, if you've been in them, is going to have 3 minutes to share their work, to tell you a little bit about what they might get from the Solve community. And then after that, we're going to have lots of time for networking. So we're not going to do Q&A from the stage. Please write down your questions, track the team's umbrella, and be really excited to go talk to them afterwards. They're all eager to talk to you. Without further ado, I'm going to bring up Gaia from Earthenable.
Nope, wrong way. There we go. Hi, everyone. This is Christian and Thomas. And just like 1.4 billion people globally, they live and sleep on a dirt floor. And this is a serious problem because dirt floors make kids sick. A study in Mexico actually showed that replacing a dirt floor with a concrete floor reduces diarrhea by 49% and parasitic infections by 78%. But the problem is that concrete is both unaffordable. If people could afford concrete, they'd already have it. And secondly, very environmentally unsustainable. If we were to replace every dirt floor with a concrete floor, we would emit an additional 55 million tons of carbon dioxide. So dirt floors make kids sick, and concrete is just not a good solution. So it doesn't seem like we have one until now. So this is why Earthenable, and this is going to floor you, has created a solution that is a third of the price. Took a while there, but you got there. It's a third of the price of concrete with 96% fewer carbon emissions. Let me show you how it's made. First, we compact laterite. This is a rocky soil that you can get as long as you dig deep enough. Then from there, we spread sand and clay on the floor. This is our screed, all made from locally available materials that you can get from local soils. And finally, we paint on our proprietary oil. This is made from flax seeds, and it basically sinks into the floor and polymerizes, creating a plastic-like resin when it dries, leading to a beautiful and waterproof floor. As I said, 80% cheaper than concrete and 95% fewer emissions. And we didn't stop at just floors. So in addition to floors, this is one of our earthen plasters that to upgrade an existing Adobe home. We've also designed a full house ourselves. And the impact has been pretty tremendous. In addition to the health impacts that I've already talked about, the employment impacts are huge. We have a franchise model where we train masons to be our franchisees. We give them training, quality assurance support, and also help them generate sales and generate demand. We've shown to double their incomes, and we've created jobs for over 400 people as a result. The traction has been great. That number is actually for just a couple months of the year, so hockey stick continues to hockey stick up. And we're hoping to reach not just this number of people, the 100,000 people we've already reached, but in addition, we're aiming for millions in just a couple years. And this is where your help can come in. Our way of scaling is actually through a master franchise model. What this means is that we want to work with existing organizations who already have distribution networks into rural communities. Rather than from scratch going and working and building a distribution network from all on our own, we want to work with people who have already done that. Train franchisees in those geographies who are instantly profitable. From there, the partners can be the ones to work with them to provide quality assurance, training, and other types of support. Our team is women-led, obviously, and 100% people of color. So please do come talk to us later. We would love to work together to eradicate unhealthy living conditions for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gaia. Thank you for getting us started. Next up, I'm delighted to introduce you to Matamo Kalilo with Microtile Panels. Matamo is the one solver team who is unable to get a visa, so we're really sorry that he's not able to join us in person. We will have a way for you to talk with him during the networking. And we do have his pitch here, so we can still introduce his work to you.
Recent Nairobi temperatures have been quite unpredictable, with temperatures ranging from about 10 to 30 degrees. And a lot of informality in the next slides. A lot of informal settlement areas have thin wall structures and are getting a lot of challenges with this ranging in temperatures, with the houses being either too cold or too hot because of quick heat loss and high heat gain. Next slide. However, they still have to be in this housing because Kenya has a housing deficit of up to 80%, with cumulatively about 2 million housing units not supplied yearly. At the moment, this deficit will not be met using traditional or imported building material, but you see a lot of potential in untapped local, natural, and renewable material. Next slide. We are looking at about readily available agricultural waste, sugar bagasse, corn cobs, coffee husk, rice husk, and even sawdust. Next slide. So my name is Matamo Kalilo, CEO and co-founder of Microtile, where we use a carbon negative process to bond this largely available agricultural waste using mushroom mycelium into different building material. Next slide. How we do is we bond this, for example, bagasse, husk, maize cobs, using the fibers of the fungus that bond it to the composite that we dehydrate to denature and stop the growth process, and they are ready to install. Next slide. Our product is not only affordable due to the readily available raw material, but also versatile because it takes the shape and form of the mold. It is safe because it's a natural fire retardant due to chitin, and it's circular and completely compostable at the end of the building life. Next slide. We are currently working with the government with a low production volume. We are looking at 25% profit margin, but when you set shop with our own production shop, high volume, we are looking at up to 50% profit margin. Next. We've only scratched the surface with our pilot product, which is wall and roof insulation for the thin wall structures, but also suspended ceiling tile. But in future, we're looking at doing building blocks and even furniture using the same process. Next. At the MIT Solve, we're looking at opportunities where we'll be able to test and get specification for this product, since the Bureau of Standards in Kenya at the moment doesn't have a standard that we abide to. We are supposed to create our own specification and present that for certification. Next. We also want to aggressively approach the market, since alternative building material uptake, although it's low in the general market, so we want to polish our process with our utility model that we've already submitted, and also aggressively access the market. Next. Between the co-founders and the advisors, we have over 25 years experience in the building industry, myself being an architect, and also have been growing mushrooms in Eastern Central Africa for the past 20 years. Next. We have partners and clients as international NGOs, accelerators, architects and designers, and also community organizations. And of course, the government of Kenya, who is our co-manufacturing partner. Thank you.
Watching on the live stream, and will be, you will be able to meet with him during networking. He should also be Umbrella if you want to connect with him there. Next, I want to welcome to the stage Raphael with Housing Now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raphael. I'm a French architect. I started an architecture design studio in Myanmar 6 years ago called Blue Temple. We've been focusing on bamboo construction. And we built playgrounds, community-led public spaces, and more. Since the 1st of February 2021 military coup in Myanmar, followed by a nationwide civil war, we've been focusing on low-cost housing, houses that we build today for the price of a single smartphone. We've innovated in a completely new construction technique that takes advantage of an untapped, abundant, and cheap local resource on the market, which is small diameter bamboo, into what we call a topologically optimized bundled bamboo structure, which is basically a system of interlocking structural frames that are built in our temporary workshop facility in Bago, north of Yangon, then shipped, and then finally built on site together with the local community, who can also decide on the finishes of the house, which includes the design of the walls, the floor, and the roofing. This is an example of a preschool we just finished a couple days ago in a Chin refugee camp in Mobi, a city north of Yangon. Okay, so what's next? We want to build a design hub which consists of a permanent workshop facility where we can increase the capacity of construction of houses to a maximum of 2 houses a day, and within this facility also continue teaching. Since a couple of years now, I've been leading architecture design workshops throughout the countries, through cities with university students from Mijina, Mandalay, and Yangon. We've also brought Burmese students for the first time out of the country to Hong Kong to collaborate with the Chinese University of Hong Kong. So within this facility, we intend to continue these workshops, which are even more important now that because it's been 2 years that every single university in the country has been closed because of the political situation. So we want to continue teaching and developing these workshops into design and built workshops where we can advance architectural research locally and build architecture pavilions, which will be a good opportunity for the students to develop their portfolios, to find jobs, and apply for university abroad. So join us and help us create this new hub in Myanmar. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Next up, I'd like to welcome Wolf and Easy Housing.
Thanks, Alex. Hi, everyone. My name is Wolf, and I'm the founder of Easy Housing. We build sustainable homes, like this one in Mozambique. I actually just arrived from Uganda, where I was working on a housing project in one of the biggest refugee settlements in the world. So to be honest, I'm still processing the change of scenery. Uganda needs 2 million homes, and Uganda is not alone. Climate change, population growth, and urbanization drive up this number. And globally, over 1.5 billion people lack access to a decent home, mainly in the global south, which was a strong personal motivation for me to start Easy Housing. In Africa alone, we have to build 300 million new homes to bridge the affordable housing gap. But at the same time, buildings cost 40% of all global emissions. So we have to adopt sustainable building practices to bridge this gap without destroying our planet. Building with timber is a fundamental part of the solution. While concrete and steel combined cost 15% of all global emissions, wood actually creates long-term carbon storage. So switching to bio-based building materials can mitigate 20% of all our emissions. And it doesn't cause deforestation. Using sustainable timber actually increases the amount of forest cover through increased demand for sustainable forestry. So that's where we come in. Easy Housing is a circular and bio-based building concept that uses sustainably sourced timber and operates in the global south. We are a unique solution because we're social, sustainable, and scalable. We are a sustainable technology because we've developed a circular and bio-based building concept that is zero carbon and climate resilient. And we're social because we create local jobs and work with local building partners. Through these localized value chains, we ensure the affordability and the cultural integration of our concept. And we're scalable. Our homes are prefabricated and fast to build at local carpentry workshops. And by working with building partners and sustainable forestry partners, we can easily scale across markets with low capital expenditure and through a license fee business model. We are an international team that is gender balanced and culturally diverse. We have a strong focus on technology, working on timber engineering, software digitalization, and carbon monetization. We have a proven technology with projects completed in Uganda and Mozambique. We have stable revenue growth and leads in 10 countries. And the wide applicability of our concept ensures a huge market potential. So we are ready to scale. Right now, we're raising 300,000 euros in seed funding, and we're always open for new partnerships and projects. So with your support, we can build millions of homes for families across the globe. So reach out, and thanks for your attention.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Next up, Anthony, join me on stage. Come talk about clean energy hubs.
Thanks, Alexander. Nice, it's on. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Anthony Kinslow II, and I'm here to show you how clean energy hubs can accelerate our clean energy transition. Now, it should be no surprise to anybody here when I say that our clean energy transition has been too slow and too white. Right? The exclusion of BIPOC communities have led to worse health outcomes, greater wealth disparities, and less secure housing. Take South Hayward, California, a majority minority community that is overburdened by pollution and economically disadvantaged. And as a result, the US Department of Energy has identified it as a Justice 40 community. We are working in South Hayward with Glad Tidings, a prominent Black-led church, to provide a resilient, revenue-generating microgrid that's bringing solar power, battery storage, energy efficiency, electrification, and bidirectional electric vehicle charging stations that's going to provide emissions-free transportation and power. Excuse me, sorry. What we call this microgrid, which is going to increase resiliency and wealth throughout these communities, are clean energy hubs. And Gemini's work is to develop these clean energy hubs in communities by providing technical assistance, access to financing, and procurement of contractors and equipment. The Clean Energy Hub is an emissions-free haven, a place for workforce development, for development of local jobs, and an ability to ensure that flexible and renewable power is always accessible. In other words, you can think of a clean energy hub as creating a regenerative clean energy ecosystem. And with your help, we want to reach and install a clean energy hub in all 13,000 plus Justice 40 communities within this decade. And what will, something that is significant to do that, essential to do that, is establishing a reserve fund to de-risk the initial wave of clean energy hubs. We develop clean energy hubs by partnering with community anchors. And these community anchors are the catalyst for promoting affordability, familiarity with clean technology, and access to this clean energy ecosystem. Our team is ethnically diverse, just like the communities we are trying to serve. And in closing, if we serve all of these Justice 40 communities, we estimate that we can generate $4 billion annually, 4,000 megawatts of power, and 4,000 new jobs, which can all work to, and these benefits all working to accelerate the clean energy transition. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want one. I want one in the local communities in Boston. I think Roxbury would be a great place. Next up, Inez. Come talk about Biochara.
Wait, sorry. Hello, my name is Inez, and I'm here to share with you a solution that can help reverse desertification in Africa and remove 335 million tons of carbon. I want you to help me take this from pilot scale to reaching thousands of farmers in the next year. Africa has only contributed 3% on global emissions, and yet will be the continent most affected by climate change. With the population expected to double, there will be crop supply shortage that directly impact food security, climate change, and poverty. It all comes down to our soil, and the soil is sick. Farmers' lands in Kenya are becoming less fertile. As a result, farmers have lower incomes to afford expensive fertilizer or turn into sustainable farming practices. And this is the vicious cycle of land degradation. At Biochara, we break this cycle by creating a soil improver made of biochar. It's produced from crop residue that would be otherwise burned. At the moment, it's being produced with an invasive species that is harming the ecosystems. Farmers then inject this biochar into their crop fields, increasing their yields, so that they can inject more food into their communities and more money into their pockets. So for farmers, compared to traditional fertilizers, Biochara is affordable. It's retainable because it lasts longer on the soil, and is sustainable. For Biochara, our unit economics allow us to transition to a higher tech solution that gives 3x return on a $500,000 investment through 2 revenue streams: sales of the biochar to the farmers, and monetizing the CO2 sequestered through carbon credits. Many sub-Saharan African countries experience the same issues and opportunities as Kenya, giving us plenty of room for impact and scalability. So far, we've done discovery and pilot to prove the concept with the communities we're focused on. Right after I go home to Nairobi from this trip, we are serving 150 farmers. By next year, we are headed to 2,800 farmers, removing net 3,000 tons of CO2. And by 2030, we want to remove 1/3 of a gigaton net out of the atmosphere, impacting millions of farmers. We are the team to do this. We come from 4 different countries, including those from the communities we're focused on. We speak all different technical areas, including pyrolysis, biochar, and carbon credits. We want your support in, first, reaching carbon credit customers. Second, connecting us with people that can connect us with farmers. Third, partnering with public institutions. I would absolutely love to go to COP27. Looking for sponsorship. And finally, getting the technical expertise that can really help us scale up, whether that's around biochar, pyrolysis, or agroforestry practices. So please come talk to us if you want to help us revitalize our soil. There's lots of impact potential here. Join Biochara. Thank you.
Phenomenal. I don't know, you don't appreciate how many times she has practiced this pitch. It is phenomenal. You did a Next up, Felipe. Come tell us about regenerating soil with cultivated kelp.
Hello, everybody. So this is my wedding vows and not my pitch notes. Do you guys mind? Perfect. So my name is Felipe. Can you guys hear me well? Yeah? Perfect. All right, so Joseph is a regenerative farmer in Kenya. He grows food under agroforestry systems to ensure food security for his 2,000 Maasai indigenous community members. Joseph's mission is to secure a healthy soil for his community. In Kenya, 70% of its rural population work in agriculture. However, due to deforestation, overgrazing, and climate change, soils are degrading and biodiversity is collapsing. Because of that, Joseph's community members are pressured to use more and more synthetic fertilizers, killing all forms of life in soil. Joseph knows the risks of overusing agrochemicals and would like to find a sustainable solution for his community. That's why we, Renature, Kelp Blue, and Kelp Forest Foundation develop a solution that combines land and ocean resources to make Joseph's community more resilient. Our solution is based on the use of cultivated kelp in regenerative agriculture to showcase application of biostimulants for soil regeneration, decreasing Joseph's dependence on synthetic fertilizers and input costs. This solution is underpinned by growing momentum of use of seaweed biofertilizers in agriculture production systems, owing to their unique bioactive components. Kelp is an extremely rich source of nutrient for soil and is also a very efficient carbon sink species. This is a unique nature-based solution that brings oceans and soils together for a resilient future. Our team is composed of a multicultural set of extraordinary people from Latin American to Europeans to Africans expertise. Algali, Pierre, and I representing Renature, and Samantha and Valentine representing Kelp team. As a winner, we're really excited with the opportunity to execute our solution on the ground and support Joseph's community to improve soil health and have a more agricultural, climate-resilient system that is more input self-sufficient and truly sustainable. We see a huge potential in this collaboration that contributes to our mission of regenerating over 100 million hectares of land and supporting 10 million farmers in the transition by 2035. So let's together regenerate our soils together with cultivated kelp. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felipe. Last but not least, I'd like to welcome Joaquin and Amazon Gatherers for the Future.
Okay, thank you, Alexander. Hi, everyone. A quick fact to have in mind is that during this 3-minute pitch, more than 3,100 trees will be cut down in the Amazon. And globally, about 25 billion tons of carbon dioxide will be emitted. To mitigate climate change effects, we need to save these high carbon ecosystems like the Amazon. And for that, we need to create more effective, sustainable alternatives for local communities. Harvesting wild acai has proven to be a powerful alternative for building a sustainable forest-based economy that creates income for the communities without the need for deforestation or affecting the natural ecosystems. The market for this wild Amazonian fruit is continuously growing, with predictions to grow up to $2 billion by 2025, providing an exceptional opportunity for sustainable livelihoods. And taking advantage of this opportunity, Corpo Campo and the Amazon Conservation Team are developing a data-based decision management system similar to those implemented in precision agriculture, but in a wild environment. And how does this work? Well, first, a solar-powered gathering tool will automate this high-demanding activity while collecting relevant data to perform the smart harvest management. Second, a geographic information system fed by drone overflights, satellite images, available datasets will work through a big data analysis along with the information collected by the first component of our solution, the harvesting machine, to deliver unique insights that will correlate productiveness, weather variables, and other ecosystem factors. This will help us fill the information gaps around the natural productive cycle of these palms and make this activity more efficient and precise. We're making wild acai harvesting more competitive by making it more efficient, more precise, predictable, and safe, so that hundreds of collectors, such as Freddy Rosero, the guy that appears on the picture, can benefit from this innovation, become more sustainable, and adapt better to climate change. Climbing 60 feet tall palms, you can imagine how tall these palms can grow. Searching hours for ripened fruit and weather adversities will not longer be an issue. And something to keep in mind is that we will not just provide a tool. We will assist the communities, complementing their knowledge and skills on technological advances while making conservation agreements. And the best part, folks, is that this model is adaptable and replicable to other contexts where communities also rely on non-timber forest products. We have led the acai market and sustainable value chains for more than 20 years, achieving sales for over $3 million. We have co-created forest management projects for thousands of acres with indigenous communities and leverage GIS systems to monitor ecological health. With MIT's expertise, we will assemble the resources required for this project and boost the potential of acai gatherers as true Amazon guardians. Thank you.
Stay here. Thank you so much. Can I actually have all of the teams come up? I want to show everyone the whole cohort and get a photo while we have the time. Also, you all did such a good job on your pitches that we are running a little bit early. So I want to take advantage of that time. Another round of applause for such an amazing set of teams. Perfect, thank you. Off you go for the moment. All right, before I let you get to networking, because I know you're all eager to talk with these teams and talk about their solutions and what you might do together, I have two quick prize announcements. The first is our community award winner. So each year we invite people from around the world to look at our finalists, to vote on what they find most exciting. And the finalist in each challenge that gets the most votes gets $2,000. I am delighted this year to announce that the winner of the Climate Community Award will go to Microtile and Matamu, who is, as noted, not here. We can clap for him anyway, and he will see it. So congratulations. Second, we have one prize that is very specific to this challenge, and that is through the Good Energies Foundation. The Good Energies Foundation focuses on reversing climate change by investing in solutions that help scale clean energy and invest in protecting tropical forests. They've been a multi-year supporter of Solve's work through our ecosystem space and now in the housing work, really, and with a particular focus on these solutions that help build markets for sustainably harvested forest products, whether that's timber or something else. That helps align the economic incentives for the communities so we get better supply chains and a much better world. They've partnered to support 4 different teams this year. And I'd like to invite Mireille Perrin from the foundation up on stage with me, along with the 4 winners of this prize, who are Microtile, Easy Housing, Housing Now, and Amazon Gatherers for the Future. So if the 3 of you can come up. We'll do one photo here. Perfect. Thank you so much to all of you. And now, let's talk about networking. So the innovators are going to be spread out along the hallway here. We've shifted a little bit from the morning to try to have them all in one space. They will have their own tables. There are some demos. I know there's some sample of Biochara if you want to see what it looks like. Please go up to them and introduce yourself. Tell them how excited you are about their work. Tell them what you want to do together. Tell them how you're going to invest in their seed funds. Solver teams they can share more about their work. They have a huge amount more that they're each doing. Please ask them about that and ask them about their goals. If you are trying to keep track of people, please use Brella. It will generate a list of people you've talked to if you connect with them. Then you don't have to remember it. And you'll have, I think it's about an hour. Yep, you'll have 56 minutes to connect with these teams. So you should be able to talk with all 8 of them in that time. And we will get things set up so you can talk with Matamu as well. Katie and I on the Solve team will also be around if you have questions for us. We'll be continuing with some of this housing work next year. See that in a bit. Thank you all so much for coming. Let's get